Hi, and welcome to Sunday with Mike. On today's show, we're going to cover more topics that have been submitted for the February topic idea contest that's going on right now in the Sunday with Mike Facebook group. If you haven't already joined the group, you need to join now and submit your topic idea before you run out of time. The best idea that gets submitted will win some goodies from the Disc Jockey News. This week, we're going to tackle diving into SEO a little bit deeper, how you can become a better DJ, how to handle music requests, and some basic wedding dialogue. So grab yourself a cup of coffee and join me. I'll be right back. Hi, and welcome back. Ryan Lennox from the Sunday with Mike Facebook group asked last week about social media and SEO, and we barely covered the SEO part. And this topic is so deep that I felt that I needed to come back to it and let it have its own segment. But there is a problem. I'm just learning about SEO, and I would not be considered an expert in any way, shape, or form. So we're going to call this one Part 1, and I'm going to share the basics of what I do know, and just keep in mind it's basics. And then we're going to come back, and in a later show, we'll call that one Part 2, and I'll be able to share everything that I've learned on my journey of SEO, and how this can make your life easier while updating your website, etc. Search engine optimization is a common term that sounds really easy until you dive in and you try to learn more about it. For example, you would agree that hitting a moving target is harder than a stationary one, right? Of course you would. So now, how much harder would it be if I blindfolded you, spun you around a couple of times, and then said, okay, shoot at that moving target? SEO is kind of like this example because the search engine companies only hint at what's important for you to have on your site, but they don't want to give you a complete set of rules. Part of this is to protect the way they run their secret code from their competitors. So I understand the why they do it, but it makes understanding this stuff very difficult. Recently, I was discussing this with a fellow DJ who knows a lot more about SEO than I do, and I compared this topic to quicksand. He laughed, and it seems true. The more you learn about this, the deeper it gets. So far, there's no sign of daylight, just a really dark, deep hole that I'm in. I'll summarize what I have learned so far. Your website needs to be mobile friendly, since most search engines are now being done on mobile devices instead of desktops. Don't have any music playing in the background as someone goes to your website. It's a no-no. Most are visiting from work, and music would get them into trouble, so they won't spend much time on your site if you have music playing. Keywords and well-written content is your main goal. Your website is being timed, in case you didn't know it. Faster loading times is a plus to your visitors and your search engine rankings. Do everything you can to make your site load as fast as possible. I'm told that after about 20 seconds, if your site hasn't loaded, most people will bail and move on to somebody else's site.
DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
Chet Trish from the Sunday with Mike group wants to know, what makes a great DJ better? You know, DJs tend to have some pretty strong egos, And when I've asked other DJs in the past why do they think they're so great, they always say it's because the guest and the clients tell them over and over again, "Wow, you're the best DJ I've ever seen." Well, after a while, they start to believe this, and that's where the trouble begins. And I don't mean to be harsh, I'm just being honest here. If you think that you are the best DJ since peanut butter was invented, then you're never going to grow. You're never going to be able to learn more because you already know everything. In my view, this is a very dangerous place to find yourself. You need to constantly remind yourself that very few people ever go head-to-head with another DJ in a real competition and walk away with a trophy going, "I'm the winner." Since you're not being judged by professionals, you're being judged by the public at large, who has only seen a few DJs in their entire lifetime. You know, we all want to believe the hype that, hey, we're all that and then some. But because it makes us feel good and it feeds into our ego. But ego is your enemy. Do not let it consume you. So more directly to Chet's question, you improve because you have a genuine interest in learning how you can be better. You're always learning more about your weaknesses. Identify them and attempt to learn more about them. Attend workshops, go to conventions, network with other DJs, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Nobody knows everything, right? So, and then don't forget to give back to others when you can help them. So in short, you'll lose the ego, and you'll understand that your clients and guests are being very sincere when they pay you a compliment, but you have to consider what their level of expertise is in the first place. So the next time somebody says to you, "You're the best DJ I've ever heard," say thank you, and then remind yourself privately that this is a lifelong journey and you'll never know everything. Mike Monteith from the Sunday with Mike group wants to know, how do I handle requests? Well, Mike, I have several different methods for different types of events. So let's take a look at a few of them, right? For weddings, I ask couples for any requested songs in advance. I limit the amount of songs that they can give me so that I can get all of them played during the event. If you have a 3-hour reception, then you won't be able to play as many songs and requests as you would if it would be a 4-hour. And since we do both of these very often, as a matter of fact, in my world, it's almost always a 4-hour reception, we have to be really careful to make sure that we don't let them request more songs than you could possibly play in the allotted time. Guest requests are always welcomed at my events, and we take those live at the DJ table. They go straight into my computer's waiting list, and I do everything I can to play as many of them as possible. For corporate events, I ask the company to submit a pre-made list prior to the party so that I can get a feel of what kind of musical taste I will be including at the event itself. Again, walk-up requests are welcome, and I include them whenever possible. For private parties, I do not ask for any pre-requested songs. I have found for me in my world, that what works much better is just to work with the people that are actually present at the party and invite them to make requests, because sometimes for these kind of things, you'll get requests from people who aren't even at the party. They passed it around the office, and then a lot of them didn't even show up. For high school events, Sweet 16s, and other kid events, I have various methods that I've used over the years, and most of those involve a sheet of paper allowing them to request the songs right at my table. This way, when they walk up to me, and usually there's a bunch of them, it's not just one, to request something, I can just point to the clipboard without having to actually say anything. I always discuss requests with my clients ahead of time and get some guidelines from them so I don't play anything that they would be upset with me on. Once in a while, I'll have a client who doesn't want me to take any requests from their guests. I would agree to this if requested, but I do prefer to allow the guests to make requests and use common sense to filter out what won't work or shouldn't be played. Don't be afraid to try new ideas and experiment. I will say that I've never been a fan of using any kind of electronic method of getting requests. I want to interact with the guest and I want to make a positive impression. You never know, they just might be my next client. Brian Barry from the Sunday with Mike group wants to know if I could share some of the wedding dialogue that is common at weddings. Brian, I'll give this a stab and I'll see if I can help you and others with some general items, but keep in mind that you should be changing the dialogue for each wedding that you do and customize what you are saying for each couple that you're working with. Try to avoid saying the same things at every single wedding you do. As you get more popular and you do more weddings, many of the guests at today's wedding will also be attending a future wedding that you might be doing. And if they hear you say the exact same wording as the last time, it becomes more of a routine than something fresh and unique for that wedding and that couple. So let's dive into intros a little bit. Intros generally have three formats in my area. The first and the least used is the formal introduction of the grandparents, parents, bridal party, and then our newlyweds. Next would be the introduce the bridal party as one big group, followed by the newlyweds. And then the most popular option in my world is just to introduce the newlyweds themselves. Do me a favor and please stop saying for the first time. You're not the first. The officiant was the first, and they all say that, and it's getting really, really old. And so if somebody's at a church and a priest or a rabbi or a pastor says, and now for the first time, and then you walk in or the guests walk in at the reception and you say it, you don't know that it was just said 30 minutes before that. It makes you look foolish. So just drop the line. It needs to go away. Something simple and effective like, please help me welcome our newlyweds, Mr. and Mrs. John Smith, will do very nicely. Most couples will do formal dances, and when they're dancing with other people, you should use their names when you bring them out to the dance floor. Something like Jane would like to dance with her father, Mr. Adams, is so much better than the bride would like to dance with her daddy, which I actually heard at another wedding. Follow the same rules for all of the other formal dances except the bridal party, in which some people call this the wedding party. It's a regional thing. There is no technically right or wrong. They're both on the knot, so don't bother telling me that it's wrong because I've already been through that war. Just whichever one you use, bridal party or wedding party, just introduce them as a large group for their formal dance. There are many times that you will need to speak on a microphone, and I highly recommend taking some workshops on becoming a better master of ceremonies. Just remember, every time you talk into your microphone, you are interrupting a room full of people. So make that interruption count. Speak clearly. Shorter is better. Remember that your name isn't on the door and they didn't come to see you personally. You just happen to be the DJ there. So be very professional, be courteous, and make a positive impression for your clients, and your phone will start to ring a lot more often. So that's our show for today. Please share it with your friends and give me your thoughts down in the comments section down below. And don't forget to give us a thumbs up if we've taught you anything new at all. I'm still saving a seat for those of you who have not joined us in the Sunday with Mike Facebook group. And don't forget to remind that someone special in your life on Valentine's Day just how important they are to you. I'll see you all next week.